Starting a real estate business in Japan comes with a unique set of challenges, from legal requirements to licensing to business setup. In this video, we'll walk you through everything you need to know to launch your real estate business in Japan successfully. We'll cover the costs, paperwork, the legalities, and the best way to get your business up and running. If you're serious about getting started in Japan's real estate industry, stay tuned, so let's dive right in. Let's break down what exactly can you expect from this video. First, we'll help you decide the right type of real estate business for you, whether it's brokerage, property management, or investment. Then we'll go over the key legal structures and who is eligible to start a business in Japan. Next, we'll walk you through step by step the process of incorporating your business, getting the necessary licenses, and meeting all the qualifications required to operate legally. Of course, another big question is how much does it actually cost? We'll also break that down of the startup capital, security deposits, and the ongoing expenses for a real estate company. We'll also cover the office setup requirements, a realistic timeline from start to full incorporation, and where to find industry support, including grants and subsidies that could help you with your launch. If you're only interested in a specific section or topic, you can use the timestamp in the description down below to check out that specific topic.
Now, let me introduce our team. First, we have our co-founder, Tae-Jin Yoon. Born and raised in Japan, TJ brings years of experience in investment advisory and international relations. Fluent in both English and Japanese, he has guided over 25 companies and successfully managed 40 subsidy and loan applications in Japan. Tae-Jin is your go-to expert for navigating the complex setup requirements here in Japan. Next, we have Tyson Batino, our co-founder who specializes in revenue growth and advisory services. And finally, here's me, Heiken, the marketing manager and the content creator here at SmartStart Japan. I'm dedicated to bringing you insights on how to successfully launch your business in Japan.
The first big decision you will need to make is choosing the right type of business. In Japan, there are three main types of real estate businesses: rental brokerage, sales brokerage, and property management. Each has a different focus, revenue model, and legal requirements. Rental brokerage is great for those who want a steady flow of income by helping tenants find rental properties. You'll work with landlords to match their units with renters and earn commission on successful leases. Sales brokerage is for those who want to facilitate property sales. You'll act as an intermediary between buyers and sellers, earning fees on transactions. While sales commissions are higher, the sales process takes longer and requires more expertise. Finally, property management focuses on maintaining rental properties on behalf of owners, handling tenants' recruitment, rental collections, and maintenance. Since this requires more investment and infrastructure, we'll focus on rental and sales brokerage in this video. So which one should you choose? If you want a more steady and frequent income, love working with a variety of people, and want lower startup costs, rental brokerage would be a better fit. Rental transactions happen quickly and commission comes in regularly. It's also a great option if you have strong networking skills and can build relationships with landlords. On the other hand, if you're comfortable with the high-stakes negotiations, have patience for a longer deal cycles, and prefer earning larger commissions per transaction, sales brokerage is the way to go. You will need solid market knowledge, strong sales skills, and the ability to guide buyers through complex property transactions. Both models can be highly profitable, but your success will depend on your strength and business strategy. Now that we have a better idea of which business model suits you, let's talk about who can start a real estate business in Japan and the legal structures you need to consider. There are two-ish choices for your company, more on this later. The main choice will be between sole proprietor and setting up a corporation in Japan. This is an important choice as this will impact your taxes, the risk that you take on, and even how potential clients and banks view your business. So let's break it down in a way that makes sense. If you're thinking about keeping things small and simple, a sole proprietorship might sound appealing. It's the easiest and cheapest way to start. You don't have to go through the process of setting up a legal entity, and your bookkeeping stays pretty straightforward. That's great if you're working solo, just getting started, and keeping your revenue under 10 million yen is very important. But there's a big catch. You and your business are the same legal entity. That means that if anything goes wrong for any deals, let's say a legal dispute or financial trouble, your personal assets like your savings and even your home could be at risk. Now, if you are serious about growth, credibility, and financial protections, setting up a corporation will be the better option. Yes, it costs more upfront and comes with more paperwork, but it separates your personal and business finances, which gives you a huge advantage. Having a corporation, whether it's a Kabushiki Kaisha or a Godo Kaisha, makes it easier for you to secure business loans, attract investors, and gain trust from high-end clients. If you're planning to scale, work with major property owners, or handle bigger transactions, a corporation is the smart move from day one. Another thing to keep in mind is the tax benefits. Once your revenue exceeds 10 million yen, corporate tax structure often becomes more favorable than personal income tax for a sole proprietor. So if you are just testing the water, starting small, a sole proprietorship is better. If you want to build a real scalable real estate business with credibility, legal protection, and access to financing, a corporation is definitely the better choice. Most successful real estate business in Japan start as a corporation because of the nature of the industry. Big transactions, long-term trusts, and financial backing matters. Now that you have a good idea on how to choose the right business structure, let's take a look at the big picture. What does the entire process of starting a real estate business in Japan actually look like? Well, it starts with securing the necessary capital. This step is crucial because Japan requires a significant financial commitment upfront for your real estate business, covering licensing fee, deposits, and initial operating costs. Then you will need to apply for the required business license. This step is non-negotiable, and the approval process typically takes about a month. And next, you'll have to set up your office and officially incorporate your business, depending on whether you want to be a sole proprietor or a corporation. Japan has strict office requirements for real estate businesses, so this step requires some careful planning. To operate legally, many real estate businesses join industry associations like Real Estate Guarantees Association. This isn't just for networking. It significantly reduces your financial burden by lowering the security deposits requirements. Once the legal side is covered, you will also need to start building your brand and attract clients. A professional website and a strong marketing strategies are essential, especially in a competitive market like Japan. Now, this is just a general roadmap, but don't worry, we're going to break down each step in detail in the coming slides so you know exactly what to do at every stage. So let's begin. The first step is to secure the necessary capital. Real estate is a high barrier industry in Japan, and one of the biggest reasons many entrepreneurs struggle to get started is the upfront financial requirement. Unlike some other industry, you can't just register a business and start operating. Japan requires a security deposit before you can get your license. So let's break it down. To run a real estate business in Japan, you must deposit funds as a business security deposit or a compensation operations security deposit. So the expensive route is the business security deposit. If you choose this route, you need to deposit 10 million yen for your main office and an additional 5 million yen for every branch you open. This money goes to the Legal Affairs Bureau and serves as a safeguard for consumers in case of dispute. The good news is, if you ever decide to close your business, you can claim this money back. But of course, that doesn't help with your initial cash flow. This is obviously the more expensive options, and for many new business owners, tying up this much money upfront is simply not practical. That's why most real estate startups take a different approach, which is what we'll discuss next. But before we do that, we'll have to make it very clear that beyond just the security deposit mentioned here, you also need enough funds to cover the office rent, incorporation fees, marketing, and at least a few months of operational costs. Even if you take the more affordable deposit option, you should still budget at least 4 to 5 million yen to get started comfortably as a real estate business corporation. So what is the more cost-effective alternative? Let's take a look. Instead of paying for a full business security deposit, you can choose the compensation operation security deposit. This allows you to reduce the initial cash burden significantly. But there's a catch. To take this route, you must join a Real Estate Guarantees Association. There are two major associations in Japan, which is the Zentaku as well as the Zennichi. Well, obviously the membership comes with its own fees, but even after factoring those in, this approach is still much cheaper than the 10 million yen deposit. Instead, you'll pay around 1.7 million yen in total, a massive cost reduction, especially for new businesses. Here's the numbers breakdown, which is around 600,000 yen for your main office, around 300,000 yen per branch office, and the relevant association fees for your business as well. This approach is ideal for most real estate startups because it frees up more cash for marketing, office setup, and operational expenses. It also provides you with the consumer protection benefits, which can help build trust with clients. Now, while this is the smarter financial options for many, you still need to consider the upfront costs, because even with this reduced deposit, starting a real estate business in Japan still requires a substantial investment. Now, with the money side of things covered, let's move on to the next step of applying for your real estate business license. In Japan, real estate is a highly regulated industry, and the real estate business license is what legally authorizes you to conduct sales and rental transactions in Japan. But getting this license isn't as simple as just submitting an application. There are strict requirements you need to meet first. One of the biggest requirements that we will talk about right now is having a qualified real estate transaction specialist. Every real estate office must have at least one specialist for every 5 employees. And even if you are a one-person business or if you are a sole proprietor, you still need to have one. This isn't just a formality. These specialists are responsible for explaining key contract details to clients, stamping legal documents, and making sure compliance with real estate laws. So how do you become a real estate transaction specialist? Well, first you need to pass a national exam, which isn't easy. The pass rate is only about at 15%. Second, you need at least 2 years of work experience in real estate, or you must complete a designated training program before officially registering. Once you qualify, you must apply for your specialist certificate, which is issued after completing the necessary paperwork. For those planning to hire a specialist rather than becoming one themselves, keep in mind that the specialist must be officially registered under your business. If they were previously employed at another real estate company, they need to be registered at the other business before they can be assigned to your office. If your office loses a specialist, for example, if they resign, you must replace them within 2 weeks to remain compliant. Failure to do so can result in legal penalties or even business suspension. This step can take some time, especially if you or your staff needs to pass the license exam first. So it's best to plan ahead and make sure you have a qualified specialist before you even apply for your license or before you even start your company. Once you meet all these conditions, you can submit your license application and start the approval process, which usually takes around 30 to 40 days. But just having the license isn't enough. Next, you need to set up your office and incorporate your business properly to make sure you have full compliance. Let's dive right into that next. Let's talk about incorporation first. In Japan, you can run a real estate business as either sole proprietorship or a corporation. But if you are serious about growth, working with institutional clients, or seeking financial investments, setting up a kabushiki kaisha or a godo kaisha is more often the better option. To incorporate, you need to draft some key details like your company name and legal structure, your business objectives, what kind of real estate transactions will you handle, your registered office address, which must meet some specific requirements, which we'll talk about in the next slide, your capital amount, the funds that you initially inject into your business, fiscal year, as well as your shareholder and officer structure. After that is set, you also need a corporate seal. In Japan, stamps or hanko is still widely used for contracts, legal documents, and even banking. So registering a corporate seal is a must. Then you will create your articles of incorporation. This document lays out the legal foundation of your business, including your business purpose, structure, and operating rules. If you're setting up a kabushiki kaisha, this document must be notarized by a public notary, which adds to the extra time and cost. Before you can officially register your company, you also need to pay in your initial capital, but at this stage, you won't have a corporate bank account yet, so you'll temporarily deposit the capital into your personal bank account in the name of one of the company's director or founder. This is a unique step in Japan's incorporation process. Finally, registration at the Legal Affairs Bureau. With all the documents prepared, your articles of incorporation, proof of capital deposit, and company details, you will submit everything to the Legal Affairs Bureau. If everything is in order, your company will officially exist in about 2 to 3 weeks. But incorporation is just the start. After you're legally registered, you will need to also open a corporate bank account so you can move your business capital and handle transactions with other legal entities in Japan. You also need to register with the tax office to make sure you're compliant with any corporate tax laws and business regulations, and enroll in any social insurance if you have any employees. Once these are complete, your business is officially set up. But there's one critical piece of information we want to expand on more next, your physical office space. And in Japan, real estate businesses must meet some strict office setup requirements before they can fully operate. That's what we'll cover next. And finally, we know this is a lot of steps to remember and handle. We have a video that dedicates to setting up a kabushiki kaisha or a godo kaisha in this channel, which you can check out in the description down below or the video cards here. And you know what? We understand a lot of you don't want all these stress and all these hassle with incorporation, and you don't have to. At SmartStart Japan, we help business incorporate in Japan from start to finish. From filing all the necessary paperwork to handling your business manager visa application if you are overseas, we will help you set up the business in the right way so you can focus on growth. If you want to know more, visit smartstartjapan.com for a 30-minute free consultation with us, and we'll answer any questions you might have about incorporation or any questions about starting your own real estate business in Japan. Now, back to the topic at hand. As we've mentioned, you need at least one real estate transaction specialist in your office for every 5 employees in your company, even if you are a sole proprietor. You also need the real estate business sign. This isn't just for decoration. It needs to be displayed clearly where clients and authorities can see it. If you don't have this in your office, it could lead to penalties. So a bit more about the physical office space. Unlike some businesses that can run remotely from a co-working space, real estate businesses in Japan must have a dedicated office that meets some strict criteria. You'll need a separate desk for client meetings and administrative work, a proper seating area, even if it's just a couple of chairs and a small table, and a fixed phone line. You can't just use a mobile number. It has to be a dedicated business line. And then there's the office layout itself. Your office must have its own separate entrance if you are renting an office. That's simple. If you are working from home, it will get a lot trickier. You cannot just use your living room as your workspace. The office must be physically separated from your residence with its own door and phone line. One thing that doesn't work is virtual offices. If you're thinking about registering your business at a shared workspace or a virtual office, that won't be allowed. The government requires real estate offices to have a verifiable physical location where clients can visit and where regulators can conduct inspections if needed. Now, some people do operate out of their homes, but to do that, you must follow some strict separation rules. That means a dedicated entrance, workspace, and a phone line, completely separate from your personal living space. This is why most real estate professionals choose to rent out a small office instead. It's just easier to meet the requirements to avoid any legal headaches down the road. So why are these rules so strict? Because real estate is a business built on trust in Japan. Clients are making major financial decisions, often worth millions of yen. A properly set up office shows that you're a legitimate and professional business, not just some fly-by-night operation. Alright, so now that we've got the business registered and your office set up, the next step is joining the Real Estate Industry Association like we've talked about in the security deposit session. Like we have mentioned, this isn't legally required, but in reality, most real estate businesses in Japan join one, and for good reason. Without membership, you will need to pay full business security deposit of 10 million yen upfront just to start operating. That's a massive amount of capital tied up. But if you join the Real Estate Guarantee Association, that requirement drops to around 600,000 yen, a much more manageable number. So what exactly are these guarantee associations? They are organizations approved by the Japanese government to provide financial security and support for real estate businesses. They act as a safety net, making sure both businesses and clients are protected in case of dispute and financial issues. There are 2 major groups in Japan, which is the Zentaku and the Zenichi. You can only join one, so you need to compare their membership fees, benefit, and support systems to see which is the right fit for your business. We'll include some comparison charts in the description down below. But before you can apply, there's one non-negotiable requirement. You must already hold a valid real estate business license. This is different from the specialist license that we've discussed previously, and we'll talk about that more in the next slide. And aside from reducing your initial capital requirements, membership also gives you access to valuable industry resources, legal protection, and professional networks with other real estate business owners. And in the real estate industry, having the right connections can be just as valuable as having the right licenses. So once you are a member, you're officially in the real estate business community in Japan. This opens up a lot of opportunities for you and helps you build trust with clients. And so let's talk about the license next. So you will need this license if you plan to join the one of the association we have mentioned in the previous slide, and if you are repeatedly buying, selling, or brokering real estate as a business. To qualify, you must have the right compliant office that meets all the setup requirements that we have covered earlier, employed at least one of the specialists that we've mentioned for every 5 staff members. One important distinction to clear up is that a real estate license is not the same as the specialist qualification. A real estate license is required for your business to operate legally, while a real estate transaction specialist is an individual qualification that real estate professionals hold. Your business needs at least one of these specialists on staff, but that alone isn't enough to start operating. So basically you need both. So how do you apply for the real estate license? Well, you submit all the forms and applications. We'll leave some links in the description down below, either to the prefectural government if your business operates within one prefecture, or to the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism if you plan to operate across multiple prefectures. You also need to pay the application fee, 43,000 yen for a prefectural license and 90,000 yen for a national license. Once approved, the license will be valid for 5 years, but keep in mind that renewal is required to continue operating legally. Now that you have everything you need for your license and incorporation, it's time to focus on how clients will find you, and that starts with a website and a proper marketing strategy. In today's market, a strong online presence isn't just optional, it's pretty much essential. If you are working in a rental brokerage or property sales, potential clients will research you online before reaching out to you. If they can't find your business or your website looks unprofessional, they'll just move on to a competitor who appears more credible online. So why does having a dedicated real estate website matter? Well, it builds trust, a more polished homepage makes your business more legitimate, and it lets you showcase your strength. Unlike listing properties or real estate portals, your own website gives you full control of how you present your businesses, highlight your unique selling points, and attract high-quality leads. So, a good website in the real estate industry should include a clear explanation of your services, and your client testimonials and past achievements, an introduction to your team, as well as your office locations and how to contact you if clients are interested in reaching out. It is also equally important to optimize your website for a mobile page. A huge percentage of property researches in Japan happens on smartphones, and if your site isn't mobile friendly, you are losing potential customers. If you need help in creating a professional real estate website, we offer custom website creation services tailored specifically for real estate businesses in Japan in both English and Japanese. We handle your design, SEO, and mobile optimization so you can focus on growing your real estate business and closing that $1 million deal in Japan. You can visit our website at scalingyourcompany.com to learn more about how we can help you build a website that attracts clients and drive real results. Alright, now that we've covered all the key steps to starting a real estate business in Japan, let's go over some of the most common questions we get. These are things that almost everyone asks and they are considering getting started. So let's clear up any confusion. First, do you need to be a Japanese citizen to start a real estate business in Japan? Well, no, you don't. You don't need to be a Japanese citizen to start a real estate business in Japan. As with all other businesses in Japan, you don't need to necessarily be a Japanese national. However, if you are a foreigner, you need a valid business manager visa. This visa is essential because it legally allows you to run a company in Japan. Without it, you won't be able to incorporate your business or operate here legally. If you need help navigating this, we can help you. So send a message at smartstartjapan.com if you want to know more about the visa situation. 2. How long does it take to get the real estate license approved? The official approved process for the real estate license, not the special license, typically takes around 30 to 40 days after you have submitted all the required documents. However, that's just for the approval process itself. You also need to factor in time to prepare, setting up the office, hiring the specialists for your company, gathering the financial documentation. Realistically, you're looking at about 2 to 3 months before you are fully operational. 3. How much does it cost in total to start a real estate business in Japan from start to finish? Well, the total cost varies, but if you are looking at anywhere between 4 to 10 million yen, obviously the 10 million yen range, it takes into account that you will be doing your own security deposit, not joining an association. You would also take into factors like incorporation fees, whether you are you are setting up a KK or GK, or you're doing it as a sole proprietor. Your security deposit, as we've mentioned, as well as all the licensing costs. The biggest financial factor is whether you choose to pay the 10 million yen business security deposit or join a real estate guarantee association to significantly reduce that upfront cost. 4th, can I legally handle real estate deals involving foreign buyers and investors? Well, yes, absolutely. Foreigners can buy, sell, and invest in real estate in Japan, and as a licensed real estate business, you can facilitate these transactions. This is a growing market, especially in major cities like Tokyo and Osaka, where international investors are looking for opportunities. If your business specializes in helping foreign investors navigate the Japanese market, that could be a strong competitive advantage, and you'll also need an accompanying English website to go with it. 5. What strategies can I use to stand out in the competitive Japanese real estate market? And that's a very good question. Japan real estate market is quite competitive, so differentiation is the key. Here are two of the most effective strategies, which is specialized in a niche market. This could be luxury real estate, or expat housing, or vacation rentals, or even foreign investor services. Another tip would be to offer multilingual services. Many international buyers and renters struggle with the language barrier, so if you can provide languages like English, Chinese, or any other language support, you can tap into a client base that other agencies cannot. Finally, can you rent an office in a co-working space or use your home or just as your business offices? No, and co-working spaces and virtual offices will not be allowed for real estate businesses in Japan. Your office must meet the specific legal requirements that we have discussed in the office slide, including dedicated entrances, a fixed phone line, and proper office fixtures and furniture and a meeting place. If you plan to use your home, it must also meet the same standard as a normal office. Before we wrap up the FAQ session, we also want to talk about two commonly used subsidies/grants by real estate businesses in Japan. So the first one is the Small Business Sustainability Subsidies, which provide small businesses with market expansions and customer acquisitions financial support. Only if your company has 20 or fewer employees, and you may be eligible for up to 2 million yen in subsidies. This subsidy can be used to cover expenses like equipment purchases, advertising and PR, website development, travel and exhibition costs, all sorts of things. But your expenses must be directly linked to your business growth and properly documented. Another subsidies/grants people use is the Career Advancements Grant. This grant supports businesses that upgrade part-time employees to full-time roles and or improve their working conditions. It's especially useful for startups that begins with a part-time staff and later transition them into more permanent positions. This will include transitioning them from a part-time employee to a full-time employee. If you are hiring a disabled employee full-time, if you're increasing wage and benefits for these full-time or part-time employees, this program can significantly reduce your HR costs, allowing you to use that money to support your marketing efforts here in Japan. However, one thing to note is that both these subsidies and grants will require you to be incorporated. So if you are a sole proprietor, you will not be able to utilize these subsidies and grants. If you would like more details, you can leave a comment in the description down below and we'll answer any questions that you might have. And that wraps up our most commonly asked questions sections. If you still have any questions or wanted help in getting started with your real estate business, we offer a 30-minute free consultation here at SmartStartJapan.com. So you can head over there and book a free session today. And that is the end of our video. If you're looking to start your real estate business in Japan, we are here to help. We can take care of the entire incorporation process, from handling your business registration, taxes, labor, welfare document, and even handle your application and permits for your real estate licenses. So you can focus on what really matters, which is growing your business. We know that speed and accuracies are crucial when launching a business, which is why we provide quick responses and detailed insights to keep things moving smoothly. If you are overseas and need a business manager visa, we can handle that too. And if financing is a concern, our Smart Boost services helps clients secure subsidies and government-backed loans to get the capital they need. We incorporate over 3 businesses every month, and we'd love to help you get started the right way. So if you're serious about launching your real estate business in Japan, book your free 30-minute consultation today at SmartStartJapan.com. Let's get your business up and running today. And if you have learned something from this video, we would really appreciate it if you can drop us a like. And if you have any questions you have about the real estate licenses or businesses in Japan, feel free to leave a comment in the description down below. And we'll see you in the next video.